been a while since I did a little normal sit-down video. Alright guys, as you already know, I have been gone from YouTube since February. It's literally been exactly 4 months. I'm just like 2 days off. Not because I hate YouTube, but I needed a whole digital detox. I'm not big on social media anyway, but like, I don't know. It went by really quickly, so that's why I know I needed to do it. It literally feels like I've been off of YouTube for like a week maybe. But no, it's been 4 months. So I had a job, I ended up quitting my job, and I'm also going to make another YouTube video talking about that bullshit that I went through. But that's not what this story time is about. This is about my 36-day study that I did at Worldwide Clinical in San Antonio. If you guys like videos like this, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and you can always subscribe. I don't do studies all year long. People are constantly asking me, are you doing another study? Are you doing another study? Studies aren't something that people just do all the time, you know. I mean, some people do it for a living, but I personally couldn't do it. My veins just aren't that great. But if I could, I would probably not even have an apartment. I would literally just do a bunch of 30-day studies, have free rent, and get paid $80,000 a year to just keep doing this. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, I have no problem in doing that. Alright, so basically I'm going to tell you guys how the study went, the entire process, how I felt about everything, and then I will tell you about the catty ass drama that I had to deal with being in this goddamn study with 36 women. Okay? Anyway guys, it's going to be a long one, so just chill, hang out, and enjoy. Alright. So, the study, like I said, was in San Antonio, Texas. If you guys are interested, the study is still going. It's 31 days. It's split into 3 groups. One group is 28 and the other 2 are 31 days. And it pays $7,500 and it only has 40 blood draws. That's really hard to find. A study that long with that little bit of blood draws, and it only has 2 connect stays. Y'all better get on that. So yeah, I will link it down below, the exact study, and I'll link the study website where you can find it in your city or country. Do not ask me. I don't want to see nobody in this comment saying, how do I find it? How do I find it? I don't want to see none. Okay, y'all, excuse me, I'm sorry. I don't want to see nobody commenting that, because it's right there for you. Use your common sense. Like, it's literally right there. I remember the first time I did this video, I had so many comments of people asking, where do I find this? Where do I find this? And the description bar was right there, and then I linked it 3 times in the comment section. Alright, so, and then another disclaimer is, if you do not like lab rat talks, science, whatever, testing, whatever, then just don't watch. I am a part of medical science. Without us, y'all would not be able to stop killing people. No, but seriously, like, you know, you have to test out drugs on people for multiple sclerosis, cancer, diabetes. We are the people who they're testing these drugs on, and they typically need healthy adults. They don't usually test things on people who actually have the illness because they just want to test the side effects. They already know at this point in science what works. So yeah, we are the reason why people get to do certain things. You get what I'm saying though. So if you're not comfortable with those type of videos, I know that people always say this, you don't have to watch. Like, you literally have a choice. Alright. So, let me tell you guys the entire process of typically doing a study. I always check Worldwide Clinical because I've always liked the facility. I like it much better than Covance because the people are very nice there. So, what I usually do is, you know, I'll check the website and then I will call. When I call, you know, I ask them how many blood draws is it okay if I, you know, because from my birth control, I typically just say condom, spermicide, and abstinence because I ain't fucking nobody. And birth control a lot of times can not work very, I mean, I don't like taking birth control if I'm taking something else usually. And I'm very sporadic on my birth control. I don't always take it. So this study, she was like, oh, childbearing, non-childbearing, you know, whatever women are totally fine. As long as you agree to use a condom, spermicide, or stay on your birth control, you're completely fine. So great. Then she said only 40 blood draws. I told her, sign me up right now. So I screened over the phone. Then she scheduled me for a screening at the actual facility. So they do like a pre-requirement on the phone just to make sure you're okay, and I'm always honest about it. They know about my medical history. Then I go to the facility and then they do a full STD test. They test you for everything: HIV, herpes, chlamydia, gonorrhea, anything. They test you for everything. They test your heart. They test fibroids. I mean, they test everything. Sometimes they don't be catching those fibroids though, because I know some girls who do studies and they have fibroids. But yeah. Anyway, oh, short story. I remember I was dating this guy, and you know, he wanted to have sex, but I wanted him to take an STD test. He was broke, so I made him do a screening, and he did it. Because I wanted him to do an STD test, and it was free, and and they checked everything. He ended up getting into the study too, but he didn't want to do it because he was scared of the blood draws. But yeah. So, yeah, and then they do like the pregnancy test and all that. They talk to you. They give you an information packet so that you can get the numbers. You know who the doctor was. The doctor conducting mine was the head one. Director was Dr. Ati. And then I had my coordinator, who was Wendy. And then, you know, they introduced us to the other people in the study also. So they called me, told me I got into the study. Everything was cleared. And then my check-in was on April 17th. Now, I already made a video giving you guys advice. You can check it out. I'll link that down below also. Oh, and if you guys choose to do a study, don't forget to refer me. If somebody has already completed a study and they refer you, both of you can get money. Like, it's not like, oh, I'll just tell my mom, hey, my mom referred me. It usually has to be somebody who's in the system who has already completed the study, like a real person in their opinion. So I'll link that down below, my name and then my study number. And then if you guys give that to them, once you finish the study, you'll get $75 to $250 on top of your money. I won't get that much, but I do get a referral fee. So I'm just being honest with you guys. But I mean, who cares? It's money for you. I don't know why people worry about that. But anyway, yeah, so that's just a little side note. Anyway, they called me. Check-in was at 8 a.m. I already had my stuff packed the night before, so I had it all by the door ready. And I sometimes I pack my car the night before, but this time I just went and I already had everything ready. I used the bathroom, and then I headed over and I drove down to San Antonio, which is an hour and a half from me. I live downtown Austin, so it's pretty close. So I check in, you know, we're all waiting in the lobby because we had to put our name on a sign-up sheet. Then girls were already there. Like, they had been there since like 7 o'clock. So I was like, damn, okay, I hope I'm not late. You know, I got there around like 7:45. Yeah, so then they started calling our names. They took our info for the check-in, you know, just like to make sure that we hadn't taken any drugs. Now, we were honest. Then they checked all of our luggage. You're going to be there for 31 days, so you want to make sure you packed a lot. And then they sent us to do our usual urinals, blood tests, you know, ECG tests, everything. We did all of that, and then they started sending us upstairs. Once you're upstairs, you know, you get comfortable in your bed. I don't unpack until I dose, because if I need to leave, I just need to leave. You know, we started getting our stuff together, and most girls, as soon as they get upstairs, they just take a nap because they're so tired out from all the kinetics and stuff. But I was cool. I was just walking around getting to know people and stuff. So, you know, the day goes by. It's pretty smooth. Nothing was really going on. Of course, I got the top bunk. If you're under 30, they make you sleep on the top bunk, and that's really annoying. But yeah. So the first night is always the most nervous night. You know, you want to make sure you're doing everything right, because it's important that your first day goes really well, because you get your randomized number, and once you get that number, you're going to know what part you are in the study. You're going to know pretty much whether you dose or not. They had already sent home 3 girls that day. One girl, she weighed too much. Another girl had been smoking and drinking, and another girl, I don't know. So they sent people home that day. If you check in and you're only there for like an hour or something, they just send you home with $25. If you actually stay that night, I think they give you like $75 for that night if you don't dose. But then if you do dose, you know, you'll get $225 per night. The next morning comes in, I get my orange shirt and I get my randomized number. So I'm like, yes, you know, I'm gonna dose. I'm so excited. So, you know, I get in line and, you know, I do my usual kinetics and they dose me. Everything was cool. You know, I sit down, I do my little, I think it was like a 15-minute sit, and then I go back to my room. And then you eat lunch, and then you eat dinner, and then you do your vitals, and then you eat a snack, and then you go to bed. So yeah, we did that for like 2 weeks, guys. No blood draws. No, I think we had 4 blood draws within the first 2 weeks. So by the second week, this is around the time that the drugs are supposed to be coming, because what they're doing is, this is first of all, it was 36 women, and then there were 3 groups, each of 12 women. So they had about 42 girls there, but they only needed 36. So, you know, so women went home and everything, and we got in. Now, they had a blue group, an orange group, and a purple group. Purple was first, then orange, then blue. Now, the blue group only had to stay 28 days. and then the purple and the orange had to stay 31. After like our second week, you know, we're still up dosing. What was it? I'm gonna hit my glass. I hit my glass. They called the blue group in for a meeting, and they let them know that their shots haven't come, and that they're going to actually end their study now, and that they're just going to start down dosing them because they don't want them to have withdrawal symptoms. Syndromes. So the blue team, we were really jealous and we were mad, and we're like, fuck, you know, so now we got to finish the study, and, you know, we were just really annoyed with them. So because their study was shorter than ours, they dosed 3 days earlier than ours. So yeah, the next day, literally, they just started down dosing them, and they went home about 9 or 10 days later. So 4 days after that happened with them, they ended up coming in and giving us a meeting, and they just casually like handed us a note saying, hey, I need you guys to sign like a new consent form. And we were like, what? For what? And they said, oh, nothing, you just gotta stay an extra 5 days. Like, what? For me, it didn't really matter, because it's like, okay, I don't have a life and I don't have a family. I don't got nothing going on. But for the other woman, it was a much bigger deal because, you know, they have husbands, they have kids, they have families that they want to get home to. Some of the women are like freaking out and they can't even like stay that long. And I was just chilling because I had brought all my material. Like I said earlier, I brought my writing material, my computer, my laptop. I brought games. Another girl brought her Xbox. Another girl brought her TV. We brought things to do our hair, you know, do our body. Like, you know, we brought shit to do, okay? And I love writing. I love books. So I brought all that stuff. My suitcase was packed. So I wasn't bored even in the slightest. And plus they have TVs. They have a computer room. There's like 4 TV rooms. I mean, it's impossible really for you to be like super... No, there's 3 TV room. I don't even know, but whatever. Yeah, there's like 3 TV rooms, but there's like 5 TVs or something like that, or 8. I don't know. Anyway, I wasn't bored and I wasn't missing nobody. So yeah. Anyway, the drug didn't really have an effect on me. I liked it personally because I felt the most normal I've ever felt my entire life being on this drug. I just felt balanced, and that could say a lot about me. I don't know. But yeah, they had to do like a suicide rating scale test whenever we would updose, and then before we got into the study, they wanted to make sure you didn't want to kill yourself. It's called a Columbus scale suicide screening thing. That's what it's called. And pretty much it just asks you, have you ever wanted to kill yourself? Have you ever given away items and gotten yourself ready to die? Like, have you, that's the type of questions they ask you. You answer no, of course. And then every time you updose, they ask you the same questions to make sure that you're okay with how things are going. And the thing about studies is that you're not locked in there. It's not like some evil guy is like standing over you with a white coat. Nah, it's nothing like that. You can leave whenever you feel like the second you say, I want to leave, they will say, okay. They won't even ask you no questions. I mean, they may ask you, is everything okay? How are you feeling? So that you don't walk out and fall out. But other than that, you can pack your things and then you'll get your check later on. And you will get paid $2.25 for each night that you stay. So, anyway, that's like, it's not besides the point. It's just I want to remind people of that. So, yeah. They ended up telling us that we had to stay an extra 5 days. And the good thing was that it was still $2.25 per night. So, it bumped our $7,500 to $8,625 for 36 nights. And I was happy about that because I really needed it. I quit my goddamn job at a frozen yogurt shop one night, and then that night, and then the next morning this study opened up. So I looked at this study as a blessing. It is a blessing. It is honestly a blessing. So I definitely was not about to walk out. All the girls started threatening, saying, oh, I'm gonna walk out, I don't want to be here no more. I'm like, y'all stupid. Unless you absolutely have somebody that just cannot take care of your kids, I am going to stay here and make this extra $1,300 because I know for a fact that I don't make $225 per day doing what I do. I don't even make half that in a day. So I'm like, if I don't make shit, I'm not about to walk out on this place. You know what I'm saying? Especially everything is done for you. The food is made for you. You're losing weight. Like, you're hanging out. You have clean sheets, clean like everything's like, you don't have to do shit. Just enjoy yourself. Anyway, so we ended up, the doctor had to come inside because we were all really upset. Some girls wanted $13,000. They were like, we want more money or we're going to leave. We want to get paid for each night that the blue group gets because they left early and they still got paid the full $7,500, you know, whatever. So we didn't get our wish. It stayed at $8,625 because the IRB is the one who pays them to pay us. So, you know, we're chilling, and they tell us, well, if the sex shots don't get here by the if the sex shots don't get here within that extra 5-day period, then we're going to start down dosing you guys. You will get the extra $86.25, and then we're just going to send you home. So I was like, okay, you know, that's cool with me. Either way, I'm cool. So we're all like nervous, hoping that the drugs don't come, because we want to go home with that $86.25. You know what I'm saying? And we want to go home with that. Just that's pretty much what's going through our heads, y'all. The shots were stuck in at the JFK terminal in New York. The shots are sent from Germany, but they have to get approved by customs, and then they have to get to us, and then FDA has to do a Skype call and make sure every single bottle is fine. It can't even have a dent in it. It can't even have any scratches. It has to pretty much come immaculate in order for them to release the drugs and continue on with the study, because that's a health risk. So all of us girls were like updating each other. We're like, oh my gosh, you know, we would love to go, you know, if we could go. Y'all, our drugs ended up coming. Blue group went home, and we ended up having a dose. When a lot of the girls ended up finding out that they had to dose with the sex shot, they left. They were like, I'm not staying an extra 5 days here. I'm leaving. I'm going home. And I was like, good, because y'all all are fucking annoying, and I don't want to be with you here anymore anyway. So I'm glad. So that's how I was feeling. And then some of the girls are kind of dumb. Like, okay, let's just say that I wanted to leave the study, right? I'm not going to leave right then. Because the day is almost over, I'm going to stay the extra night and get an extra $225 in my pocket before I dose. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying, like, why would you leave right then? You're just losing out on a couple $100s. Well, whatever. Some of us don't need it. Some of us don't really need it. Anyway, so I think, okay, if I didn't tell you guys what the drug was, each of us had a different drug. The blue group was on, like, some type of, I forgot what is it, an opiate or something, because they were going to have withdrawal syndromes. The purple group was weight loss, and then the orange group was, my group was antidepressant. It was for the drug Zoloft. Most of y'all have already heard of Zoloft. It's already on the market. All they're trying to see if it's okay if you take a sex drug with Zoloft, with the antidepressant. They want to make sure it's not speeding up your heart and it's not fucking up. Everything had already been FDA approved. It just hadn't been FDA approved to work together. The doctor can't give you the okay to put these medications together. That's all it is. It just stops you from accidental overdose or messing up your kidney and your heart. So we take the sex shot, and at this point, this is a kinetics day. Kinetics day is when you are actually doing what you came there for, to test the multiple drugs. At that point, we were at 200 milligrams of the antidepressant. We started off at 25, then we went to 50, then we went to 100, then we went to 150. Then they stabilized us for a few days at 200, and then we stayed there for about 3 days. Then they started slowly down dosing us and coming off of it. So yeah, the shot was pretty much just like an EpiPen. If you guys know what that is, EpiPens are for like seizures or asthma or something, and pretty much you just pop, and then it immediately just instantly stops you from having that seizure. That's what this was. So we dosed that morning. We did our usual, sit downs or whatever, and then we took the sex shot and we sit. He put it on a pretty fatty part, like under a little bit, like under your breast, under here, like above your stomach or whatever. And I didn't feel nothing. Like, I literally felt nothing. One girl, she was like, ugh. So I was scared, but then they told me, oh, it's because she's so skinny that like she didn't have really any fat at all. So she felt it probably. She definitely felt it. I have so much fat, y'all can take some of it. She can take some if you want. So anyway, kinetics day is there. We have to sit in observation after we dose. Usually we do like a 15-minute sit. This time we had to sit there for almost 6 hours. And they also gave us a halter. When you put on the halter, you cannot take it off for 2 days. You can't shower. I totally broke that rule. I cannot. I love watching this coochie. So it was totally different. Look, I can't be horny and dirty. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, give me something. This is gonna bother me. So, the day starts. I brought all of my books in there, my laptop. I got my phone. At that point, I'm watching. Yeah, Moesha is on in the background. I love this show. At that point, you know, I'm catching up on Orange is the New Black. They're coming around, they're doing our vitals, they're checking our blood pressure, our temperature, they're drawing our blood. We had 15 blood draws that day, then we had like 17 the next day. So pretty much we had the bulk of our blood draws already knocked out. We only had like 4 more the rest of the 12 days that we were there. So this was amazing. But y'all, like an hour after I took the sex shot, my vagina started to throb. Like it was like boom, 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 boom. And I just looked down and I was like, oh my gosh. And I was like, anybody else? You know, I'm just like getting kind of nervous. So I'm like, oh my gosh, is anybody else feeling like this? So my vagina was super sensitive. Even if I would like scoot on the chair, it was like, whoo, whoo. So then I go use the bathroom. I pee and it just feels like super sensitive when I'm peeing, so I'm trying to pee kind of slow. Then I go try to boo-boo, and my vagina had already, my vaginal muscles had already been worked so much that it felt like I had already pushed down to poop like 10 times. Like, ugh. That's how it felt, and I had only pushed a little bit one time because everything was had already been working on its own for a while. It's like you had 5 hours of sex and then you try to go take a shit. That's what it was. So I get up. I'm already having constipation because of the drug, and they pretty much have prescribed me prune juice to make it go and have a smooth bowel movement. I get up, I go sit down, I keep watching my movie, and I had like nothing else. I mean, everybody else was just horny. That's it. Everybody was horny except for the woman who was postmenopausal, because I'm trying to fight the sun. The sun is here and I'm sitting back here. So yeah, anyway, yeah, so the only person who didn't feel it was a postmenopausal lady in there. So yeah, one girl, she was watching a movie and she ended up just kind of like coming on herself, and everybody else was just like, pussies was throbbing. So we got about 24 throbbing pussies in the room. Well, actually, a bunch of girls ended up going home because one of them, she just had a really bad reaction. Mostly it was the purple group who ended up going home. Nobody really in my group went home, but it was definitely the purple group, the ones who were, they were just always sick. They were on some weight loss drug, but it was making them feel terrible. So I don't even know what that was all about. Anyway, hold on, let me see. Might just move backwards. Oh no, I have to sit fine. Okay. Yeah, they were just feeling badly. So yeah, we kept doing that. I got the drug the first day, then I got the placebo shot the next day, and then after that we just started down dosing. We had like 3 more blood draws, and then after that we just kept down dosing. The doctor, we begged him to put in a referral for us to get extra $300 on our check, and then halfway through the study, they ended up giving us $5,175. So I paid all my bills while I was in the study. I had everything planned out. I was like, when I get out of here, I just want to have fun. So yeah, I paid my car note. I took $2,000 and I caught up my car note because I was behind on that damn note. My car note is really high. I paid my insurance a couple months. I paid my rent 2 months in advance. I paid off all my credit cards. I put a deposit down for my Discover card, a new one, like for a secured one, so I could build my credit. And so yeah, guys, that's just what I did with that. Then, because of all the struggle that we went through, they ended up giving us Tiff's treats and Papa John's pizza. So that was great. The food was not that great in the study, guys. Yeah. And then we just kept going down. I'm drinking my prune juice. Typically, before the study ends, I try to close all of my AEs. AEs are adverse events that you report to the doctor. You tell them how you're feeling and if anything is going wrong, like just so that, don't try to hide anything because it doesn't really help. Just tell them, you know, I'm not feeling good. This is what the drug is doing to me. They do these clinical trials so that they can figure out what's wrong and how does this drug work and how does it make you feel. So yeah, it was embarrassing telling the doctor that my pussy was throbbing, but I had to, and I was like, science! And he has a great attitude. So yeah, everything was great. The study went amazing. Wendy was our coordinator. She's great. And then Dr. IT, he's an amazing doctor. And then there's another doctor, I can't remember her name because she kind of pops in and out. It was, she's a white lady with like gray, like salt and pepper hair, and then there was a Spanish lady who's also our doctors, but they kind of just pop in and out, and they were amazing. The entire team was great, except for one guy. this Spanish guy named Trey. Watch out for him, y'all. He is so snappy and rude. If you can stay away from him, he's like, I think he's like he's one of the, anyway, stay away from him. He's rude as hell. He gets on everybody's nerves. But yeah, so I ended up with a grand total of $8,925. Yeah, so I was just $75 short of a $9,000, but then I ended up, one of the girls, she got into the study, so I ended up getting an extra $75. So that made my total $9,000 for because I referred people to get in, and some people got through the screening and some people didn't. But yeah, it was amazing. I love the study. Things that I can bring up, but you know what? I'll do another study time about my study drama in another one. So I'll do that like that. But yeah, guys, a couple things to know. All the info is in the description box. Please look at the description box before you comment, okay? And then on top of that, the way that we get paid now, before they used to give us checks, now you get a Citi debit card. It's through Citibank, and it has Worldwide Clinical's logo on it. If you already have one, cool. If not, they'll order you a new debit card. You make your PIN, you activate it, you set it for text alerts, and it lets you know whenever you get a deposit. This is way better than the checks, because the checks, you have to wait for them to come. Sometimes they get lost in the mail. The Citi cards are cool because they don't charge you fees every time you use it. The only time they charge you fees is when you're using it at a non-Citibank ATM. It works exactly like an ATM. You can transfer money. The transfers take about 1 to 2 days. I transferred $5,200 into my account, and that came in the next morning. And I did that on Friday at like 12 o'clock. And by Saturday, all my money, like $5,000 in my account. And then, yeah. So I'm going to do a video talking about the fighting that happened in the study, all the drama. And then I'll tell you exactly how I usually spend my study money and how you should invest. And yeah, that'll be pretty much it. As far as getting in, any tips, don't be around any smoking, no secondhand smoking, especially weed, a week before the study. Drink a lot of water, but not the morning of. The morning of, get there, like if you're going to do a screening, start drinking water when you get there, because unless you pee a lot before you go, because you're just going to be sitting and you're going to want to have to pee multiple times before you even have to pee, and sometimes the line is long. With the clean catch just means that you're gonna squat, you're gonna sit, squat over the toilet. You're gonna wipe yourself front to back. If you're a penis, you just do your wipe. But if you're a girl, you wipe front to back, and then you pee a little bit just to make sure any residue gets off, and then you put the cup under, and then you just pee. It doesn't matter if your pee is dark or whatever. All they're testing for is they're doing a blood and urine pregnancy test, and then they're just trying to make sure you don't have anything, you haven't been smoking weed or anything. Make sure not to drink. They don't like it if you drink orange juice, and you can't bring any products that have aloe vera. And when you check in, everything has to have ingredients on it. So those are just some tips. Try to be the first one to call in a study. Try to be the first one in there if you can. If you can't, then it's cool, just whatever. But if you can do that, then great. And then another thing is to prepare yourself. Make sure that you are prepared to stay away from a place for a month. I kind of wasn't, but then when they paid us $5,000 halfway through, I was extremely happy, because I knew almost another like $4,000 was coming in a couple weeks later when I got out. So I was like, woo! Yes, Lord. Yes, God. I was very, very happy about that. But if you don't have it like that, make sure, you pay your bills, because you may not be able to be away from home for 36 days. I was totally fine with that. And I had nobody at home anyway, so I was good. And my bills were very low once I got back home. Oh, yeah, we did get to go outside. I forgot to tell you guys about that. They took us on walks. I think we had about 4 walks for the 36 days that we were in there. I don't leave the house really anyway if I don't have to. Like today, I haven't left my house, and I'm totally fine with it. So some people need to leave the house. I personally don't care to, but if you really need to leave the house, then the walks would be good for you. Bring a lot of materials. Like I said, you can bring your Xbox, you can bring your TV, you can bring your laptop. They are going to put tape over whatever camera you have. You can bring your phone. You can do whatever. A lot of girls were Snapchatting, they were video, everything, but because I don't really care about that, I didn't even Snapchat really while I was in there, because people were like, damn, you can't have your phone. I was like, no, I just don't want to use it right now. I was literally on a social media detox, and I took full advantage of there. I didn't even want to leave the study, because I already knew as soon as I get out, I'm going to have to deal with real world problems, and I didn't want them. Literally when I left the study, I ended up getting a ticket. So that just shows you some bullshit. You know, I left the study, I got the offer, and I ended up getting a ticket. So yeah, that was some bull. Anyway, guys, that was my study in San Antonio at Worldwide Clinical. I have never done one at Icon in San Antonio ever. I've screened, but I never got in. I only did one screening. It was like for like 10,000, and it had like, it was over 6 months, and I'm glad I didn't do that shit. And I have done ones at Novum in Houston, Texas. I hate that place. And I also did a couple at PPD, but I have to come back with some results for my heart in order to go back to doing studies there. I've done a study at Covance Clinicals in Dallas. That one is probably number 3 that I like. Worldwide Clinical is my favorite because the staff are really nice, and I like it over there. Even though it's not as like high tech or in as a place like Spalding or like PPD. You know, PPD is really cool because like it's like an entire campus. It's like an acreage. It's huge, and you know, you drop your car off and they come and they get you and they, you know, bring you to the facility, and you know, it pays a lot and the food is pretty good. But other than that, I mean, it's not like prison. People will always say, oh, it's like, it's not like prison. Prison, number one, you're not getting paid $200 to $400 per night. Second of all, you're not gonna, you are, it's not like prison. Prison, you get to go outside, okay? Here, you don't really go outside. Like, they don't want you getting sick or being out in the rain or anything. If these people are paying $12,000 to $30,000 per person, plus your fee, they want to make sure everything is okay. They are not going to take any risks. So just because you want to go outside a couple times, they don't want to lose out on money. And this is $1 billion, $1 trillion industry. So they don't want to risk it. So that's why they don't want you getting sick. They don't want you having other human contact besides the people that work there. So that's why they don't allow you to really go outside. And I really don't blame them. I don't argue with them over dumb shit like that. I just want to pee, sleep, and chill. Okay? Try to be the first caller. Ask them how many blood draws it is. Ask them what is the study drug for. When will you get paid? Ask all the questions that you want. They have no problem answering them. Sometimes they be acting like, you know, but ignore them. Just ask them what you want. Try to get to the screening 15 minutes early. Try to get into the check-in 30 minutes early. And don't rush once you're on your way. If you want to go to a check-in, all you have to do is just, when you go to the check-in, make sure you just pack the night before so that you're not rushing yourself and you're not like stressing over, you know, speeding and driving over there. Chill so that your vitals are not off. When it comes to vitals, don't think about it. Just lay there. Don't think about your heartbeat. Don't even think about it. Just lay there and start thinking of something else. Like, think about a dream that you had or somebody that you really liked in high school. Or maybe not. Just make sure it's not making your, you know, your heart pump or anything like that. And last but not least, try to get along with people. Understand that you are in a facility with other people, so you have to be very considerate of others, whether it's shower time, sleeping time, watching TV. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you like more videos like this, I can definitely give you some more scenarios and just tips and tricks on how to get into studies.